Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by the head football coach at Dearborn High School. That, of course, is Alex Grignon. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's we're a few weeks away from official practices starting. I know, obviously, you've been working with the guys a lot this year. So, kind of just talk about what the summer's been like as we get ready for the 2023 season.
Summer is fast now. I feel like summers used to be we had quite a bit of time. Now we didn't get out of school till June 16th. Um, we got good numbers coming out at all three levels. We get them in this routine. We get them used to waking up early and working hard, and we get our lift and our speed and agility and our conditioning and stuff in. And then it's dead week, right? And they get a week to sleep in, and we want them kind of to recover and take advantage of it. Well, now we're trying to get right back at it, full bore. So, that early summer is a lot of body maintenance and getting yourself ready and understanding we're going to be stopping and going quite a bit. Um, we do our youth camp, which we love doing, and our kids love participating with. We get great numbers there. So some of those days in that like second week, we're out on the turf from 7 to 3 sometimes. You know what I mean? Full time job, but kids are bonding. They're having fun. They're giving each other a hard time. Then they're coaching and being leaders. So summer's been good. Sometimes we've had to teach some lessons. Sometimes we played handball, for condition and things like that, get them moving around and having a good time. But I think, as a leader, you always look at what could be better. What could we do better? What could be more efficient? Why doesn't everybody have a practice plan? Everybody needs to know what they're doing all the time. Transition from the weight room to the field. How long are we taking to get our shoes on and off? Are we on the hop? Are we walking? Are we finishing through the line? Big thing for us, every whistle and our dynamic warm up or any drill, we want to just make winning a habit. Every play you play in football starts with a whistle, right? So through our warm up and our drills, every time that whistle blows, we want everybody saying win just so they correlate winning on the whistle, right? We play between the whistles, we play hard. So it's all the little things that I'm very fortunate to have a great staff that can run a very good, intense program, and lets me nitpick, you know what I mean, and find the inefficiencies. Or if there's a big group, I can set up another drill real quick for them. We want reps this summer. It's teaching and getting reps. How many times can these groups do this? Or how many pro shuttles can we get? How many times can we start and stop or run, shuffle, run? Or are we getting the most out of it? So things like that, keep you up at night. But overall, I'd say we've been at least a B this summer. Obviously there's always room for improvement, but at the opportunities we've had to compete in sevens, we've competed. We've been hampered by quite a few vacations. We just started getting our whole group together for the first time this summer, but you know what? Family's got a vacation and the kids need a mental break too, so we're not stressing about it. And we're getting such great numbers. It's just exciting to coach the kids we get to see every day.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of those kids, I know for the audience out there that's maybe watching this, kind of let everybody know some of the names to watch out for the Pioneers this year.
Yeah, let's just start with our captains. Usually I don't sign captains until kind of go time for the season, and we have a long process that usually requires an interview. But these guys, I felt like we need to find our identity. We need to know who's in charge, who's leading the ship, so to speak. So we determine this in the off season. Nick Maziarz will be a returning starting center. Took every snap of every game last year for us at center. He's getting a bit of college attention, a lot of D3 interest for sure. And he's a guy that'll be able to play on the nose side of the ball as well, defensive side at nose, D tackle. He's done a great job at working his ass off all off season. He's slimmed down again since last year. And shoot, we ran a mile sprinting straightaways, jogging the curves today, and my man was pretty impressive with the group he was staying up with. So that's a guy to watch out for. Hassan Serini, 3-year starter. We'd like him to play a little tailback in spot situations for us. He's an explosive kid, but he should call that defense, anchor it for us. He's been up there for 3 years now, like I said. He's also a captain, and a true linebacker, old school, understands the game and has a nose for the football and plays with passion. You got to walk that tightrope as a coach of sportsmanship and letting the kids have passion. They're just regurgitating what they're force fed on social media and things and stuff. He's a kid that just has fun, lets loose, and I love to see it. So you don't. My point being is he's a kid that you do see that from. You wish you can see that passion out of all the guys because they got it in them. They're just unfortunately nowadays it's like, what am I going to get yelled at for doing? Right? What is too much now? But he's a guy that doesn't worry about that, and we love him for it. And he brings a spark to the defense. And then lining up right next to him will be another captain, Madi Sabaw. Kid's 15 years old. You'd think he was a sophomore in college, 4.0 student, as is Nick and Serini. Started every down last year for us, played a little offense, H-back as well. And you talk about a kid that's doing everything you ask him to do. Off season, if you can make the basketball team, play basketball. If not, we really want you to wrestle. We had a huge number of guys wrestling. Madi was wrestling heavyweights a lot of times at 215 pounds as a sophomore just because they had to go up and wrestle him. And not saying boo about it. He's just a competitor. And his body benefited off it. He's tough now. He's not soft. He's hard. He's tough. He's cut up. He's ripped. Bench in a house and squat in the garage. Couldn't ask more from him. And between those three guys, and then Brady Isaacson, who had a great year for us defensively and offensively last year, more on the defensive side of the ball, but we expect big things from 6'3", 215, 20-pound athlete. Could line up anywhere from DN to free safety to outside backer to split end to slot. So it's fitting the pieces into the puzzle, but those are names that should definitely carry us. And, we will go as they go. Ali Hamayed, 6'7" tackle. We'll start on that line with Nick. We got 3 returning starters up there, which we're pretty excited about. And Hamayed's just a long athlete. This year played football, basketball, baseball, and golf. Wasn't able to finish baseball season because he was actually a pretty excellent golfer and had to focus on that. But I mean, you're talking about a 4-sport, 6'7" athlete, not just a big body out there, right?
Sure. And then of course, the schedule as well. I know it's anytime you're in the KLA East, it's always going to be fun, but you're actually going to start off the season at Detroit Catholic Central. And then it's going to be fun down the road. Of course, let me run through the schedule really quick. You got Westland John Glenn on the 31st, and then first home game against Livonia Franklin on September 8th, September 15th at Belleville, September 22nd, home against Dearborn Fordson, September 29th, home against Wayne Memorial, October 6th at Livonia Stevenson, October 13th, home against Livonia Churchill, and then, of course, the KLA crossover game on the 20th, where the KLA East teams will be hosting this year. So pretty good schedule there.
Yeah, definitely. Always a good schedule in the KLA.
So kind of talk about, starting the season. We haven't done this in a while, but of course, opening up week 1, going up against Detroit Catholic Central. Awkwardly enough, it was right before you guys were going to play square off in last year's playoff. And of course, you guys are going to be squaring off again this year, week 1. So kind of bringing in, of course, a new team with Sasante coming in there. What's it going to be like week 1 going to the Elm?
It's going to be fun. It was before Sasante got the job. He and I are pretty close friends. One of my best friends. And I called him. I said, hey, as soon as I find out the KLA had an open week, I just called him and said, what do you think CC would be interested in playing us at all? And his thought process was the same as mine. And he, immediately went to, I think it'd be an awesome game for you guys. That's a program that has recognition and a culture and tradition. We want to be on that level. We don't want to be them. We are Dearborn. We're going to stay Dearborn. We're going to be Dearborn, but it's time for Dearborn to step up and go claim some respect around the state as well. And that's who we want to be. are they the best team in the state? Probably not. Are they going to be really good? Yeah. Do they have an excellent coaching staff? Definitely. Are they going to be disciplined? Yep. Are we going to find out what we're made of? 100%. And that's exactly what we want to do week one. We aren't we aren't preparing to give them a game. We're preparing to win the game. We had a great playoff game with them. I have nothing but a ton of respect for those guys. A lot of my friends over there, Lewis Adams, Cody Patton, these guys I've worked for years with at Legacy and know well. And I pride myself that I'm in a circle with those guys. Think a lot about them, but I want to kick their ass. No doubt about it. I'm going to be excited after the game, or Justin is, and there's no doubt, which way I want that to go. Wish him the best in the rest of the 8 coming up. But, I know it's his first game, this and that at home opener, but my job's to play spoiler now, brother. Sorry, I love you up until August. But, when we've been laughing, we've been on the phone. We got to I actually got a conference call with him tonight. That's funny. But we've been saying we got to get together before we start hating each other. Our daughters get along well, our wives get along well. We've hung out before, so it's just trying to get together before it's go time, and we have to stop communicating here. But yeah, it's going to be a fun game. They're exactly who we want to play. We got respect for them. Our kids respect them, but don't fear them. I think it's the same way the other way around. They're very respectful and hardworking, and came and earned one last year at our place. We got to redeem ourselves, so to speak. They outplayed us. We had a chance late in the game down in the goal line. I biffed it as the coach, and they won one on our field. So now we get another chance to go back and do it again,
Yep.
or at least try to do it at their place, right? You know what
Yep.
I meant?
Yep. Of course, also another always competitive year in the KLAA East. After that, it's what's and another tough year for and it's going to be another good year for the division.
Yeah. We go right into the John Glenn game. John Glenn was kind of beat up when we got to him last year. They came to our place. We I don't want to say we stole one, but we had definitely earned one. In that game, where if they were full power, who knows what would have happened there. And all they're going to do is get better, more well coached, more disciplined. The staff's gotten better even since last year. They're going to that full house tee, mixed with what they were doing last year. That shit's just tough to deal with. Coach Mensing's one of the best around. I think they got the absolute right guy for the job there, and he's been phenomenal. Just watching kind of from afar at how he does things, through your social media posts and the board meetings and stuff I see him at. Nothing but respect for the guy. And another person that, just like Sasante, I can't wait to go compete with, because I know he does it at a high level and he does it very well, just like Justin. You know what I mean? Like, that's all the motivation I need. Anytime I get tired, I know Jay ain't sleeping, so I better slam a coffee and wake my ass up, get a couple more hours in, right? So it's been fun so far. Yeah, and then after that we go into Franklin, another guy, nothing but respect for. Learned a lot from over the years. At a clinic way back when I was at South Lyon as the OC, sat him down and asked him to pick his brain, and he was phenomenal. And taught me a lot about the offense and things that they were doing at the time. So, we got to, I think we surprised them a bit year one. And then I don't think a team kicked our butt as bad as anybody, as bad as Franklin did the rest of the year last year, even when we lost to CC. Because after we lost to them, we won every game up until the playoffs. So, we went in there feeling pretty good of ourselves for really no reason, because Belleville just kicked our butt, but we were feeling pretty good. And Franklin took us to the woodshed physically, and our kids haven't forgot that. They know what they're capable of. So now it's year 3 here. We're 1-1 since I've been here. So, I mean, again, just like our conference across the board, what an opportunity, and how fun is it to compete with Chris Kelpert. I loved his son. I got to work with his son a little bit throughout the legacy program. Phenomenal family, and just a high character guy. Like, yeah, sign me up. I want to compete with those people.
Yeah, for sure. I know it's and then of course kind of talk about what it's going to be like for the next few weeks before we get to camp, and then before that game 1 against Detroit Catholic Central on the 24th.
Yeah, so right now, we're finally getting back into that groove after the dead week. We're into week 2 after the dead week here. Kids' bodies are looking pretty good. We got a couple owies and boo-boos, as I call them, that sidelined a few kids, but nothing that we're concerned with that should carry over into August, or at least very far into August. But now you pick up the intensity a little bit. You amp up the competing a little bit, and you try to create in small groups. Like today we did, one of the stations was hills, but we did it in 4-man groups where we were racing, and the winner got to sit out the next one, then got back in, right? So it really turned into groups of three-man races. But just to get them to compete and get them to compete the whole time. Another thing we did was with the old used car tires, just a 4-man tug of war where the last guy with his hands on the tire won, and he gets to sit out the next one. He won that, right? He went and earned something, so he gets his reward. And just correlating hard work and competing with success in as many ways as possible. I tell our guys all the time, I do a pretty good job at being the bad guy, as far as holding them accountable and holding that standard, where I want them to pick each other up and make it a us versus coach thing. So the greatest sound in my mind is when I'm trying to condition them or break them, so to speak, and they're laughing at me and talking trash like, you can't do nothing to us, coach, right? So, like today we were running one of our linemen as we're running laps. Coach, this is easy. Let's do hills. All right, let's get on the hill. And then they just started doing hills. Said, shoot, we're having a captain's practice. I'm not going to stop it. Did hills for 20 minutes. Then we got into our workout. You know what I mean? Like, they're getting it. They're flicking that switch where, hey, as long as we're together and we're all a little loopy, this ain't that bad. And now when you're late in those games and long drives, even early in the game, it's going to be hot as hell in CC. That anxiety and stress and excitement's going to take a little out of you. That game's going to come down to, I don't care how good you are in the first series, the last couple series are going to win the game, and I need to know what we are then. And that's what you got to find out in the next couple weeks, basically.
All right. Well, Alex Grignon, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Best of luck to the Pioneers this season, and we'll definitely have you on again at sometime later in the year.
Yeah, my man, appreciate it.